What is up, gamers? I'm JohnJoaneh, and this is Managing Miscellania. Alright, so in this video, I'm just pretty much going to be going over exactly what Managing Miscellania is, starting off with what quests you need to do to get here. Then I'm going to go over what kinds of profit you can expect, how you can incorporate this in your daily routine, and pretty much how the entire system works in general. If you already know exactly what this is and you're only here for the specific setup to maximize your profits, please refer to the timestamp in the description below. It'll fast forward you all the way to the part of the video where I tell you exactly how to set up your kingdom. And the setup that you get will be the maximum amount of profit that you can earn per day or per week or however often you want to withdraw your resources. So right off the bat, Managing Miscellania, it's essentially a small little kingdom just north of Relica, and you get there by taking a ship from Relica all the way to Miscellania, and it's a small little kingdom where you pretty much run all of your subjects, all of your workers who do things like mining, wood cutting, farming, and you're pretty much responsible for them, and you pay them a certain amount of money, which would come out to like their salary or their wage. So you'd pay them this amount of money and they would reward you with a portion of the resources that they collect. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to just bring up the screen here. So as you can see, the very first thing it starts off, he says, this is how your subjects are distributing their efforts. So you have a pool of subjects here that you can delegate to each specific resource. Now the resources here, herbs, this is pretty much farming. The farmer here will farm either weed or flax. This is wood cutting, where the lumberjack would chop maple wood logs. Mining here is essentially for coal. Hardwood is, as you can see here, specifically for mahogany and teak. Farming here is basically seeds. This particular farmer will only focus on harvesting seeds to help you train your farming skill. Fishing here will focus on tuna and swordfish, and you can either collect those raw or you could check this box off to collect them cooked. Now this is going to be the coffers. Your coffers are essentially the pool of money that you have to give to your subjects. Now depending on which quest you've done, because there are two quests involved in this particular distraction and diversion, which I will go over in a second, depending on which quest you've done, your subjects will withdraw different amounts of money. So before I go over how the coffers work, let me just talk about the quests. So the two quests, well, the main quest that you need to complete is the Throne of Miscellania. And the requirements for this quest are just here on the screen for you. As you can see, there are no real skill requirements, just a few quest requirements that you need to complete first. Now this quest is easy enough. As soon as you unlock this, the withdrawal amount from your coffers will be 10% of the amount within your coffers. Meaning, if you have 200k GP in your coffers, 10% of that is 20k. So your subjects will withdraw 20k and put that towards their wage or their salary, and they will give you a portion of their resources according to how much you paid them. So essentially, you're pretty much buying the resources from them. Now, the maximum amount of money that your subjects can withdraw from the coffers upon completion of Throne of Miscellania is only about 50k. Meaning, if you have 1 mil GP in the coffers, they will still only withdraw 50k, as that is the maximum. However, the second quest, Royal Trouble, it doesn't have too many quest requirements. Pretty much all you need to do is complete Throne of Miscellania. However, this one does have a couple skill requirements, although they are not too hard to achieve. Meaning, even for lower level players, completing both quests is very easy to do. And upon completion of the second quest, the maximum amount of money that your subjects will withdraw from the coffers goes from 50k to 75k, which essentially means you get more resources out of them. Now, the other key thing about the coffers is it ties in directly to your approval rating. The way your approval rating works is essentially how much your subjects like you. If you have 100% approval rating, the amount of money that gets withdrawn from the coffers, for instance 75k, all of it will be used, 100% of it will be used towards collecting or buying those resources from your subjects. However, if your approval rating is now at 75%, your subjects will take the full amount, 75k, but they will only use 75% of it to give you the resources. Meaning, essentially, your cost per resource just went up. Now you won't even collect the same amount of resources. It will be less. So 25% deduction of 75k puts you at about 50k or 55k. So your subjects will only use 55k to provide you with those resources, meaning you will get a slight reduction, meaning your profits will be reduced as well. So you always want to try to keep that approval rating to 100% in order to get the most out of this daily. So now that we're talking about the approval rating, I'm just going to go over certain things that you should avoid in order to not decrease it. These certain things include killing the guards, stealing from the stalls, killing the chickens. Doing all of that is actually going to decrease your approval rating, which means you have to work just a little bit harder to get it back up. The other thing about the approval rating, if you haven't completed Royal Trouble, you'll find that your approval rating will go down by 2.5% on a daily basis, meaning you have to come back every single day just to bring it back up to 100. Now, if you have completed Royal Trouble, this 2.5 actually goes down to 1%. So you will only decrease your approval rating by 1% per day. Now, if you need to fix 1%, that's a very easy thing to do. All you have to do is come here, rake the weed, and instantly, upon raking one piece of weed, that approval rating goes right up back to 100. Now, if you're starting off just brand new after completing the quests, or if you've neglected your kingdom for a little while, you will find that your approval rating decreases to a minimum of 25%. Meaning 25% is usually what you're going to start off with. So in order to get that back up to 100, it's very easy to do. Doesn't take too much effort at all. You can mine some coal. You can chop some maple trees. You can rake the weed of the gardens or even water the garden. Or you can even hop on over to the other side where you can essentially do the same by helping this gardener with his garden or even chopping some of the teak trees or the mahogany trees. Doing any of those would increase your approval rating back up to 100. And then from there, all you have to do is come back on a daily basis to maintain your approval rating. Now, with that in mind, you might be thinking, well, it's a little bit of a tedious task coming back every single day just to do, 2 seconds of work. It can be. So for that reason, I'm going to just go over the different methods you can use to actually travel here. The more popular one is actually the spirit trees. So if you have level 80 farming, you can actually plant a spirit tree here, and it can teleport you to the Grand Exchange, which is number 4, or Port Sarum. Another way to get here, and probably the easiest way, is by actually having a ring of wealth or some kind of luck ring, such as Luck of the Dwarves. The nice thing about Luck of the Dwarves, even though it is a super expensive ring at 30 mil in the GE, it does give you unlimited teleports to Miscellania, Grand Exchange, and Keldegrim, which is extremely useful, unlike the Ring of Wealth, which maxes out at 4 charges before you have to recharge the ring. Another very easy way of traveling to Miscellania is actually the fairy rings. So this particular fairy ring, its code is going to be CIP. That's Charlie India Papa. In order to use the fairy rings, you have to complete at least a fairy tale 1 growing pains, the requirements for which are on your screen now. As you can see, there's not any skill requirements, just a few quests. And let's not forget that you can travel here by boat, the simplest way being doing the home teleport to the Fremenic province, and then taking this boat in the middle to travel to Miscellania. And last but not least, you can even use Miscellanea teleport scrolls, which are rewards from treasure trails. You can even buy these at the GE. You can just get them in bulk, just stock up on them. They are not very expensive, averaging about close to 200 GP per scroll. They are well worth it because of the profit that you're going to make by coming here daily and maintaining that approval rating. Now, I still tend to find that the Luck of the Dwarves is the easiest method, but if you can't afford one, just keep on doing this daily diversion and you'll eventually get there. Okay, now for the important part. Now I'm going to show you how to dress up your kingdom for the maximum amount of profit. So, to get things started, if you have only done Throne of Miscellania, you are only going to have 10 subjects at your disposal. These 10 subjects, you want to fill them up to the max with herbs. This is because the herbs resources will actually give you more profit and more value than any other resource. It is the most profitable out of everything. The herbs you can collect will range anywhere from Terramin to Dwarfweed. Now, if you've done Royal Trouble, that means you have an extra 5 at your disposal. This extra 5 needs to go straight into fishing, because fishing is the second most profitable out of everything else. Now, here's the thing though. Mahogany can be profitable as well, but only if you're planning on using the mahogany logs to turn them into planks. If you're planning on taking the mahogany logs resource and just selling them, no, go with fishing. Fishing is your better option. But if you're planning on turning those logs into planks, I would then take them off of fishing and place them into mahogany. Now, there is another money-making method that I will be releasing in the near future that uses mahogany logs and turns them into planks very efficiently for a very high profit. So, that might be another option that you might want to take. But for now, you should keep the extra 5 in fishing, just to make things easy for you, just so that you can collect your resources and sell them immediately. Now, if at the moment you are not very rich, that's fine. You can put the bare minimum in your coffers. Just remember to replenish it every day. Meaning, this is now 675k, which means tomorrow they will only withdraw 67.5k. Remember, it's 10%. So if you've done Royal Trouble, you want to have at least 750k so that you can make your maximum contribution and obtain the maximum amount of profit. By doing this every day, you will find that after a week's time, you can essentially double your money in the coffers. And by doing that, you limit the amount of times you'll need to replenish it. And then after a month or two, you'll find yourself putting in the maximum amount at 7.5 million. It is very easy to do with this method. Now, I did let this run for one day so far, and I kept telling you that every day my kingdom is using 75k. So now I'm going to collect my resources for only a day, and you can tell that it's just been a day based on this counter here, where it says last collected. Last collected was 1 day and 2 hours ago. Take a look at the profits that I made. Now see, look at that. I more than doubled my money in just 1 day by doing raw fish and herbs. And that's the other thing about the fish. You can choose to have them cooked, or you can uncheck this and you'll get them raw. Raw is always more expensive than cooked, so you will make more of your profits collecting raw fish. Now this is just one day, but don't assume that's going to be like that every day. It's 189k today, tomorrow it might be 175. It'll fluctuate. Not every day is the same, which is fine. But you can expect to make between 170 to 180 every day. You will not make less than 170k a day, which is already almost 100k profit a day. It's much more than double. You're essentially making 100k a day just by doing this, and this is not a lot of work. And I want you guys to stick around because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you what 1 week looks like. And that's exactly what I want you to do. I don't want you to be coming here collecting every single day because that's going to be really tedious work. Collecting, selling, getting your approval rating back up, replenishing your stock, that's extremely tedious. Instead, try to do it once a week. Pick a day and let that day be your collection day. You collect your resources on that day, you sell them at the GE, good enough. You can do that once a week, and in the next few minutes I'm going to show you what 1 week's worth of profit is going to look like. But before that, I'm just going to deposit some money into my coffers just to make sure I'll be good for the week and that I don't have to keep replenishing them. And essentially what I'm going to do for the rest of the week is I'm just going to use my Luck of the Dwarves, or you could even use your miscellaneous scrolls, whatever works for you, to come back every single day to rake the leads. Of course, I can't really rake right now because I'm already at 100%, but essentially this is what I'm going to do for a week, and it doesn't take long. Less than 2 minutes worth of my time for over 100k profit a day. Alright, so let's see what a week looks like then. Alright, so here we are at the 1 week mark. You guys might have to bear with me because I did get a little bit sick over the week. But as you can see here, we are at 1 week. And this is 1 week of coming here daily and making sure that approval rating stays at 100%. So if you go back a couple seconds, you can see that we started off with 3.25 mil, and now we are at 2.725, which is essentially 525k that we've spent this entire week. So our hope is that we get to actually double that, maybe hopefully a mil. So now we're gonna collect, and there we go. We are at 1.2 mil. So as you can see, we spent 525k, and in 1 week we got more than double. At the end of the day, guys, this is a great way to make some money, just for a little bit of pocket change. Throne of Miscellania and Royal Trouble are essential quests, especially for new players to the game. It's a great way to turn a profit and earn a little bit of money with very minimal effort. Now all that's left is to go to your bank, collect everything, and sell it on the GE. So this reward value might fluctuate, give or take 100k, depending on how fast you want to sell some of these items. But at the end of the day, you just turned half a mil into over 1 mil. I really hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I really hope this helps you. If you guys have any questions about this guide, please make sure to leave me a comment on this video and let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all my content and videos. And I will see you next time.